Rugby Rumble. It is one of the new manga recently released alongside mangaPLUS, Kagurabachi, Dogs Red, Diasporaiser, and Two on Ice. In this new batch of manga, it is one of 3 sports manga, the other 2 being Two on Ice and Dogs Red. I've been really liking Rugby Rumble. It kind of seems like the classic nuthead MC that is funny, and what makes him stand out is his strength/talent. To me, it seems like it could be the next Haikyuu. Both have nuthead MCs. Both mangas start out by showing the perfect team, and both early on have tournament/friendly games that the opponent's team completely underestimates them, because since for the past 3 years they've been trash, but now the new prodigies completely surprise them by nearly beating them or actually beating them. And also both manga have a good duo. In Haikyuu, it's Hinata and Blueberry Boy. In Rugby Rumble, it's Kinzan and Kiyoshi. I'm gonna give a quick rundown of what happens in the first 3 chapters, so if you don't want to get spoiled, just skip to this time. Rugby Rumble starts, as I already stated, introducing the perfect team, which won a world championship before. We get introduced to the MC in a very faraway town in Japan that is quiet and peaceful, but our MC is very active, strong, and built like the Rock, and very dumb. He is tired of peace and quiet, so he wants to move away to the city where he thinks there are things such as delinquents, and wants to see more action, as he had grown tired of the peace. To his surprise, the city is very calm as well, not much happening at all. So at the entrance ceremony, to see some fights, he announces himself as the leader of the school, and until someone dethrones him by beating him, it will stay that way. To his surprise, absolutely no one steps up, except for this one guy, but he ends up getting to do nothing. He lays around wondering why no one is coming to challenge him, but then a girl comes to him and says she'll lead him to the school's strongest guy. She leads him to the rugby field where there's one guy standing there, and Kinzan wants to fight him. Then, the strongest in the school says that if he can get a touchdown while Kinzan tries to fight him, Kinzan has to lead. But if Kinzan manages to beat him up before he gets to do a touchdown, Kinzan wins. Kinzan obviously accepts and the game begins. Kinzan instantly rushes over to Kiyoshi and tries to beat him up, but Kiyoshi does a goose step and absolutely jukes Kinzan. And then he runs over to the touchdown line, and he sees an image of one of the perfect squad's players running way ahead of him to the touchdown line. And no matter how hard Kiyoshi tries, he will never reach. About that image, we get a backstory about how Kiyoshi used to be a prodigy until he played one of the players of the perfect squad and got a concussion. He had seen that image for years, but then Kinzan absolutely tackles him, shattering that image in front of him. Of course, Kinzan accidentally makes Kiyoshi touch the line, and Kiyoshi plays it off like he planned it, but Kinzan got Kiyoshi interested in rugby again, as the team Kiyoshi was in before was utterly unmotivated and lazy, and Kiyoshi wants to try playing rugby seriously again, and with Kinzan, he might actually get the chance to. I think Rugby Rumble has great potential. I could even see it continuing for a few hundred chapters, kind of like Haikyuu. Rugby Rumble has also very good art, but not quite as good as mangaPLUS, but much better than Kagurabachi. Rugby Rumble has very consistent art. It isn't like there is one panel that is just amazing and the others are just average at best. It has very nice, consistent art with its moments. The cast, I think, is lacking a bit, to be honest. Sure, there is the MC and his sidekick, but that's pretty much it. Sure, you can also say the opponent, Jugo Mikumi, the tackler for the perfect squad, and we have some potential with the new brothers, but that is literally it. Sure, you can also say that the trainer and Kiyoshi's sister are sort of developed characters, but they feel much more shallow than literally anyone I mentioned before. Also, everyone in the team kind of feels like an NPC. That is where I think the biggest difference between Rugby Rumble and Haikyuu is. In Haikyuu, there literally isn't an underdeveloped character in it. Pretty much, even in the opponent's team, sure, there's always some NPCs, but there's always a couple star players that are always very interesting. For example, Oikawa. He's probably the most developed character in the series that isn't on the main character's team, but he's still the 3rd most favorited character on my anime list for Haikyuu, and that is for good reason. He's a very interesting and developed character. I hope with time Rugby Rumble can have a similar large and interesting cast. To conclude, I think Rugby Rumble has great potential. The art is pretty good, and I hope you will at least try Rugby Rumble, since it is completely free on mangaPLUS.